Our today's topic is cysteine metabolism. Cysteine is a sulfur containing amino acid. It is non essential. That means it is being synthesized in our body. And it is glucogenic amino acid means it gives metabolites which can enter gluconeogenesis and give rise to glucose. Synthesis of cysteine is by using the carbon skeleton contributed by serine and sulfur originating from methionine. Cysteine is synthesized by two successive reactions. Number one, homocysteine combines with serine to form cystathionine. Number two, cystathione is hydrolyzed to cysteine and homoserine. So these two reactions they take part in synthesis of cysteine. The flowchart of cysteine synthesis goes like this. Methionine gets converted into S-adenosyl methionine. S-adenosyl methionine gets converted into S-adenosyl homocysteine. S-adenosyl homocysteine will give away the adenosine part, and it will be converted into homocysteine. Homocysteine then it will combine with serine to give cystathionine. Cystathionine then splits up by hydrolysis to give cysteine and homoserine. Where this is regarding their synthesis. Degradation, there are different pathways of degradation. One of them is cysteine is transaminated to form beta mercaptopyruvic acid and finally pyruvate. The beta mercaptopyruvate can transfer the sulfur to cyanide to form thiocyanate. The second type is the sulfur may be removed either as H2S or elemental sulfur or as sulfite. Third pathway which we come across is cysteine on decarboxylation gives rise to beta mercaptoethanolamine. This is used for the synthesis of coenzyme A. Now we will go towards the pathways which are required for catabolism of cysteine. Two pathways of catabolism of cysteine are well known. Number one, transamination pathway. Number two, direct oxidative pathway. This is the flow chart for transamination pathway, which starts with the transamination of cysteine. The enzyme is cysteine transaminase. Transferring the amino group of cysteine to alpha ketoglutarate, it converts cysteine into beta mercaptopyruvate and alpha ketoglutarate to glutamate. Beta mercaptopyruvate is then subject to desulfurization. This will convert beta mercaptopyruvate to pyruvate and H2S. H2S then gets converted into sulfites. Sulfites are converted to sulfites. Sulfites are converted to sulfate. This sulfate is then get excreted and it may interact with ATP to form a universal sulfate group donor PAPS, that is phosphoadenosyl phosphosulfate, that is also called as active sulfate. We will discuss about this again. Second pathway is direct oxidative pathway, where cysteine is converted into cysteine sulfonate by incorporation of molecular oxygen in the presence of cysteine dioxygenase. This cysteine sulfonate then gives away carbon dioxide by decarboxylation and forms hypotaurine. Hypotaurine is then oxidized to taurine. The other branch of this pathway is cysteine sulfonate doesn't undergo decarboxylation, but it undergoes transamination, where pyruvate is converted to alanine and it itself is converted into beta sulfonyl pyruvate. That is, desulfonation use sulfate and pyruvate. Sulfate then reacts with ATP to give POPs, or that ectosulfate. Some important derivatives which are formed from cysteine that we will discuss. Cysteine enters in the synthesis of cysteine, methionine, glutathione, taurine, proteins, and PAPs. Cysteine in protein synthesis. Cysteine is very important amino acid for some proteins such as keratins, simple proteins that are present in hair, nail and skin, etc. Keratin are very rich in cysteine. Many enzymes, for example, glyceraldehyde 3-phosphate dehydrogenase, contains in its active center SH group derived from cysteine. So these are the two examples of cysteine getting incorporated into proteins. Here there is a general picture which shows the interrelation between cysteine and methionine. Methionine gives rise to cysteine, one part of the reaction, and methionine is then cysteine is converted into methionine. So that you can see in first part, methionine is converted by transmethylation into S-adenosyl. It is converted into S-adenosyl methionine first, then it undergoes transmethylation to form S-adenosyl homocysteine and a methylated compound. This S-adenosyl methionine cysteine gives away adenosine and forms homoserine. Homoserine then reacts with it receives a methyl group from methyl tetrahydrofolate in the presence of vitamin B12, and it will convert the homocysteine molecule into methionine. So this way cysteine forms methionine and methionine forms cysteine. This cycle goes on in between methionine and cysteine. Now we will concentrate on the reactions of cysteine. Cysteine on transamination in presence of pyridyl phosphate enzyme transaminase gives beta mercaptopyruvate. This beta mercaptopyruvate then gives away its sulfate and forms pyruvate. Decarboxylation of cysteine gives the beta mercaptoethanolamine. Cysteine will lose its COH group in the form of carbon dioxide and will form CH2NH2 CH2SH, that is beta mercaptoethanolamine. Free radical scavenging. Here is the reaction where superoxide O2 is converted into H2O2 and that is then converted into H2O. During this, two molecules of reduced oxidized glutathione are converted into one molecule of reduced glutathione, and then that reduced glutathione is converted back into GSH, that is GSSG is converted into 2GSH. The reduction is done by taking the reducing equivalent from NADPH. NADPH is converted to NADP, and this NADPH comes from glucose 6-phosphate dehydrogenase. Here in this reaction pathway, oxygen superoxide radical will be acted upon by SOD. SOD is nothing but superoxide dismutase. This which forms H2O2 will be acted upon by GPX. GPX is glutathione peroxidase, and that the conversion of oxidized GSHG to reduce GSH is with the help of GP, that is glutathione peroxidase, and which is then acted upon by, that is reconverted back to its reduced state by glutathione peroxidase. Here is a diagram shows the role of cysteine containing glutathione molecule, which will help in amino acid absorption that happens in intestine. Amino acids present outside the cell of intestine that will enter into the intestinal cell. After entering into the intestinal cell, it will react with a glutathione molecule of 3 amino acids and itself becomes 4 amino acid molecule. That spills, it is an unstable molecule, so that spills and gives rise to 2 dipeptides. One is cystinyl glycine, other is glutamyl amino acid. Cystinyl glycine is split up into glycine and cysteine, which will be reutilized for the formation of glutathione, whereas the glutamyl amino acid molecule will be converted into oxoproline, and that amino acid will be liberated. This way the amino acid is brought from out of the cell to inside the cell. This oxoproline so formed is then converted into glutamate, and it will react with first cysteine to form glutamyl cysteine. Glutamyl cysteine then reacts with glycine to form glutathione, and glutathione will then again react with the amino acid to give the tetrapeptide. So this way this reaction goes out. This is cyclic reaction. It's also called a mixture cycle for absorption of amino acid with the help of glutathione. Now another property of the glutathione molecule, which is made of cysteine plus glutamate plus glycine, is detoxification by conjugation. Glutathione helps to detoxify several compounds by transferring the cysteine group. The reaction is catalyzed by glutathione transferase. The compounds which undergo this type of conjugation for detoxification are organophosphorus compounds, halogenated compounds, nitrogenous substance, chlorodinitrobenzene, and heavy metals and the metabolism. Here is the example of detoxification of aromatic compounds such as bromobenzene by cysteine. Bromobenzene, which is very toxic to human being, reacts with cysteine to form acetyl to form a bromophenyl mercapturic acid. One molecule of acetyl-CoA is added during formation of this compound. This mercapturic acid molecule, that is bromobenzene mercapturic acid molecule, which is non-toxic one, is then excreted. Detoxification of glutathione, general reaction of glutathione reaction detoxification is a toxic compound are combined with glutathione to form glutamyl cysteine or glycine, and that is then converted is split up into cysteine R and glutamate and glycine. Cysteine R gets N-acetylated and it will be excreted. Formation of taurine. Cysteine is oxidized to cystic acid and then decarboxylated to form taurine. Alternatively, cysteine is oxidized to cysteine sulfuric acid. It is decarboxylated. It is then decarboxylated by decarboxylase to hypotaurine, which in turn is oxidized to taurine. Taurine is used for conjugation of bile acids. For example, taurine will combine with cholyl CoA to give taurocholate, and CoA acid will be liberated. Here the equation for the chemical equation for the formation of taurine is given, that cysteine, an amino acid with sulfur SS group, is oxidized with molecular oxygen to give the cystic acid. This cystic acid group gives away the carboxylic group in the form of carbon dioxide and taurine is formed. This is the taurine which then incorporates into the bile salts. Here there is another example of cysteine getting entered into a very active compound, PAPS. PAPS is phosphoadenosine phosphosulfate. It is also called as active sulfate or phosphoadenosine phosphosulfate. PAPS is formed by the reaction between ATP and sulfate, and the sulfate is attached to the ribosyl phosphate. PAPS is used for various sulfuration reactions, for example, synthesis of sulfatides or glycosamino, glycan, etc. Here is the diagrammatic representation of the active sulfate, the active sulfate molecule called as PAPS. It is formed by interaction between two molecules of ATP, reacts with an sulfate molecule to form PAPS plus ADP plus PPI. That means that ATP is given for the reaction and 1 ATP is utilized for the formation of PAPS. One other important function of cysteine is to keep the enzyme active or maintain the activated stage of the enzyme or take part in activation of enzyme. Many enzymes having SS group in their active site are kept in the active form by the glutathione. Such enzymes are active in the reduced form. Glutathione keeps the enzyme in reduced active state. Similar type of work done by cysteine. It interacts with the proteins and cysteine residues in polypeptide chain forms disulfide bridges to make active proteins, example in insulin and in immunoglobulins. Protein disulfide is the isomerase forms 3 disulfide bonds. So we are continuing with inborn errors of cysteine metabolism. There are two inborn errors of cysteine metabolism which are quite well known. One is cystinosis, other is cystinuria. Cystinosis is a familial disorder characterized by the widespread deposition of cystine crystals in the lysosome. Cysteine accumulates in liver, spleen, bone marrow, WBC, kidney, cornea, and lymph nodes. There is an abnormality in transport of cysteine, which is responsible for this accumulation of cysteine in various organs. It is an autosomal recessive condition. Microscopy of blood shows cysteine crystals in the WBC. The treatment policy for cystinosis is to give adequate fluid so as to increase urine output. Alkalinization of urine by sodium bicarbonate as well as administration of D-penicillin is also in use. Second disorder is cystinuria. Cystinuria is one of the inborn errors of metabolism included in the Garrett's tetrad. Garrett was the scientist who first invented the inborn errors, and he invented a tetrad, set of four diseases, which is called as Garrett's tetrad. Cystinuria is one of that Garrett's tetrad. It is an autosomal recessive condition. The disorder is attributed to the deficiency in transport of amino acids. The clinical features of cystinuria are abnormal excretion of cysteine and to a lesser extent ornithine, arginine, and lysine. Hence, the condition is also called as cysteine lysinuria, crystalluria, and calculi formation in acidic pH. Cysteine crystals are formed in the urine. For detecting the cystinuria, a screen test is done called as cyanide nitroprusside test. Urine is made alkaline with ammonium molybdate or ammonium hydroxide, and sodium cyanide is added. Cysteine is, if present, is reduced to cystine. Then add sodium nitroprusside to get a magenta red color complex. The specific amino acid urea may be confirmed by chromatography. This will complete the metabolism part of cysteine. We are left with methionine. We will continue methionine metabolism in our next session. It is better you read this, make a notes for the exam, not self. You have ample time during this period of, and you will come prepared for the classes. For example, tomorrow we will have a discussion on methionine metabolism. Please read and come prepared so that there will be effective delivery of giving and taking of methionine metabolism chapter. Thank you.